Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to deconstruct an event that, on the surface, looks like a total failure, but it was actually one of the most brilliant strategic victories of its time. Seriously, it's a masterclass in how to win a war without even fighting a battle. And it's all centered on a journey that never even reached its final destination. All right, so let's set the scene. It's the 6th year of the Hijrah, and we're in a desert valley called Al-Hudaibiyyah. It's right on the doorstep of the holy city of Mecca, and you can just feel the tension in the air. It's thick.
So you have the Prophet Muhammad and about 1,400 of his companions. They've traveled peacefully, they're dressed in the simple white garb of pilgrims. Their one and only goal is to perform the minor pilgrimage, the Umrah. But instead of a welcome party, they're met by the armed forces of the Quraish tribe. Now the Quraish control Mecca, and they've made it very clear. The Muslims are not getting in.
Now, you have to put yourself in their shoes for a second. The companions, they're fired up, they are ready to go. But then, the Prophet makes a totally surprising call. They're going to wait. To a lot of them, this probably looked like weakness, right? A really passive move. But it was all guided by this deep, profound wisdom that nobody could see right away. So, why? And here, this is the incredible reason why, which was later revealed in the Quran. See, inside Makkah, completely unknown to the Muslims camped outside, were secret believers, men and women who were practicing their faith in total silence. If the Muslims had launched a full-blown attack on the city, they would have ended up killing their own people by mistake. So that wait, it wasn't just a strategy. It was an incredible act of mercy. So this completely reframes the whole situation, doesn't it? This wasn't a retreat, and it certainly wasn't a sign of weakness. It was a calculated act of mercy, a choice to protect unseen allies over forcing an immediate and very costly entry into the city. It was all about strategic patience. Okay, so you have this stalemate. With nobody making a move, the Quraysh decide, all right, let's test these guys. Let's see what they're really made of. But they don't send an army. Instead, they send a series of envoys, one after the other, to negotiate and really size up this new power that's just camped out on their front lawn. And their first big negotiator is a guy named Urwah ibn Masud. Now, this man is a powerful, respected chief. He's confident, maybe a little arrogant, and he fully expects to find this, ragtag group of followers who are going to scatter the second things get tough. Urwah's entire strategy was built on this one huge miscalculation. He looked at the Muslims, saw a mix of people from different tribes, and just assumed their old loyalties would crack under pressure. He actually told the Prophet to his face, "These people are just going to abandon you." Oh boy, was he about to find out how wrong he was. And then you have this incredible moment. So during the negotiations, Urwah reaches for the Prophet's beard, which was kind of a customary sign of respect between negotiators back then. But instantly, a guard smacks his hand away with the hilt of his sword. And get this, the guard was Al-Mughira, Urwah's own nephew. In that one single moment, Urwah's whole worldview, that blood is thicker than anything, just shattered right in front of him. This was a new kind of loyalty, one he just couldn't wrap his head around. Urwah went back to the Quraysh a completely different man. He wasn't beaten by weapons or threats. No, he was defeated by a display of pure, unshakable devotion. He told his people that he'd been to the courts of the greatest kings and emperors in the world, but he had never ever seen the kind of love and obedience that the companions showed for their leader. You can bet Urwah's report rattled the Quraysh. So their next envoy was a different type of person entirely, Al-Hulais. This guy was known for his deep respect for the sacred traditions of pilgrimage. And the Prophet, understanding this perfectly, decided to use a completely different tactic with him. I mean, this is just brilliant. It's an appeal to shared values. As Al-Hulais got closer, the Prophet ordered the sacrificial animals, all marked with traditional garlands, to be brought into view. And then the powerful chant of Labbaik, "Here I am, O God, at your service," just started echoing through the valley. Al-Hulais saw this, heard this, and he just stopped dead in his tracks. These were clearly pilgrims. Blocking them was a violation of everything he believed in, and he refused to be a part of it. So, at this point, the Muslims have won over 2 of the enemy's key envoys, all without raising a single sword. They've proven their intentions are peaceful. So, what's the next logical step? Well, you send your own official ambassador into Makkah to make it formal and state your case directly. But as you can see from this timeline, the path to peace was incredibly dangerous. With every attempt, the Quraysh just got more and more hostile. And when the Prophet finally sent his own official ambassador, a man named Quraish ibn Umayyah, they didn't just turn him away. They attacked him. They killed his camel and nearly took his life. It's just a stark reminder of the massive risks they were willing to take to find a peaceful way forward. Okay, so let's just recap for a second. The Muslims have been stopped from their pilgrimage, their ambassador has been attacked, and they're still stuck in a camp outside the city. I mean, on the surface, this looks like a complete and utter failure. It's the obvious question, right? They set out to do one thing, perform the pilgrimage, and they didn't get to do it. So how on earth could this be a victory? Well, because the victory wasn't about reaching a physical place, it was about fundamentally changing the entire strategic game board of Arabia. You see, what came after the standoff was a peace treaty, the Treaty of Al-Hudaibiyyah. And just look at what it accomplished. Suddenly, the Quraish lost the moral high ground. Their allies, guys like Al-Hulais, were shaken. For the very first time, the powerful Quraysh were forced to recognize the Muslims as an equal power they had to negotiate with. And maybe most important of all, the peace that followed allowed for the free movement of people and ideas, which became the single biggest reason for the incredible spread of Islam over the next 2 years. So the ultimate lesson from Al-Hudaibiyyah is this. Real victory isn't always about achieving your immediate goal. By refusing to be provoked, by appealing to shared values, and by playing the long game, the Prophet secured a peace that accomplished far more than any battle ever could have. It just goes to show that sometimes the most powerful move is actually the one you don't make, turning what looks like a defeat into a victory that can truly change the world.